Christoper Vizzina must play quarterback this season. I mean, we can either learn from the past or have to learn it all over again in 2026. But before I dive into that, I'm glad you're hanging out with me here talking Clemson football. If you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll subscribe. It is free, and I do appreciate it. Now, I have some really exciting news. I have teamed up with 1790 Knife and Tool. Bill Mooney and I have been talking, and we finally came together. And it was all me. I told him, I said, hey, man, wait till football season's about to kick off. And I think that will be the better option for you and 1790 Knife and Tool. And he went and pulled that picture there of me, and he slapped it on here. We're doing a giveaway. Yeah, that's right. We're doing a giveaway. So the idea is, I'm going to read this. All you need to do is register using the form below and provide some content ideas for yours truly and my channel, and he will pick a winner, a runner-up, and a third place prize. These are incredible knives. These are also officially licensed knives as well. So read through there. You'll see what you get. Go check this out. It's just a really cool product. Also, if you buy something, you can use the Dabo5. It's a 5% discount code. So go check that out, and let Bill know that you heard about him from me. So I really do appreciate you trusting me with, telling everybody about your product, Bill. I do appreciate it. Go check them out. And I do appreciate it. So let's dive into Christoper Vizzina. Why am I talking about this guy? Why am I saying he must play quarterback? I'm not talking about replace Cade. No. It's because in 2026, and I know for some of you are like, good Lord, Brian, well, hadn't even played the first down 2025. I get it. But I'm one of those people who likes to plan ahead. Like if you want to have peace of mind and comfort and success, planning ahead is a good thing. So we know that Clemson is loaded. We know that Clemson is being picked in the preseason. Even as of late, I think Greg McElroy, Mr. Alabama, Mr. SEC, picked Clemson as his preseason #1 team. Clemson has a lot of expectation, and what that means is with all that talent that they return that gives them said expectation, they're not going to be playing an LSU every week or a Louisville or a South Carolina. And yes, I'm keeping my eyes on Georgia Tech, but they're going to play games throughout the season where if they use their talent, they're going to get ahead, and they're going to get ahead a lot. And this is the time that you would bring out Christoper Vizzina to get experience, in-game worthwhile experience. Now, for some of you, you don't know why I'm harping on this. Well, I'm not going to give you the whole bullet point list, but what I will do is give you a review in history. Let's say, 2022. Clemson has this freshman, Cade Klubnik, he played at 6A Texas high school phenom, incredible program, Westlake. He went 45-0. He won 3 state championships, 2 of them as a starter. He signs with Clemson. Now, yeah, he's a little undersized as far as weight goes, but he's over 6 feet tall. He's 175 pounds. Comes into Clemson, but DJ was there, and things were not working out well. It didn't look good. And people started to kind of wonder why Cade is not seeing the field. All the rumors and conspiracy theories or ideas kind of circulated the Clemson forums, but it all came back to Dabo doesn't want to put that weight on him, or potentially doesn't want to put that weight on him, and he's trying to stick with DJ. Well, everybody accepted that idea until you got to the ACC championship playing against Drake May. Yeah. Oh, now it's time to put that weight on Cade Klubnik. After one drive with DJ under center. Now, Cade went on to win the game. We were all excited. It was also unfair to him to put him in the Orange Bowl as the starter against the hottest Tennessee Volunteer team that they'd had, well, to this day, since T. Martin and the boys were running things up there in Knoxville. They threw the ball 55 times. Young Cade only threw for 100 total passes all season long, and 55 of them came in that bowl game. So that kind of throws that out the window. Why do I bring up Cade to talk about Christoper Vizzina? Cade was, in my opinion, one of the most ill-prepared quarterbacks in the entire Dabo Swinney era. Period. Now, Christoper Vizzina is different than Cade in the sense that Cade was a true freshman. Vizzina's been around the program for 2 years. I know it's at least 2 years. The problem is that Cade will be gone after this season. And yes, we have to play this season. I'm hoping that we'll have an incredible season. But you can set up for the future, just like recruiting. Like everybody gets excited once a guy finally signs. It's like, oh, we have Sammy Brown. Well, why did you get excited about that? Because it's hope for the future. You won't hope for the 2026 season where we will see losses. We will see a loss of talent across the Clemson football team. Some will go to the NFL draft. Some will just graduate. You need guys like Christoper Vizzina getting in-game, real-life experience. Now, let's take a look at Christoper Vizzina because I feel like a lot of people forget who he is, what he looks like. The guy was a 4-star coming out of Alabama. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's bigger than Cade, definitely in height. And in the glorified spring practice, the spring game this past year, Vizzina actually looked pretty solid. I mean, he looked pretty good, and that made me feel good because he is the prototypical 6'4" looking quarterback. This is a guy who has more of a pro look to him as far as his stature and so on. He threw some really good passes. Now, he did hang one guy out to dry. I just don't think he noticed the cornerback waiting for the guy out in the flats. But right now, a lot of people's kind of overlook Christoper Vizzina, and they're either talking about Chris Denson, the guy who signed with Clemson at the last minute at the end of last recruiting season, or they're talking about Tate Reynolds, a guy who's only committed to Clemson now. Now, he still has to sign, but he's coming out of Arizona. And a lot of people's talking about Tate. They're talking about Chris Denson. They are overlooking Christoper Vizzina. And there's several reasons why this could and probably is happening. Well, first off, it's been Cade's show for the past 2 seasons, full time. And he took over, as I said, in his freshman season in the ACC championship. So we've had a lot of Cade up to this point. And for that, I'm thankful. I'm a big fan of the guy. I'm pulling for him. He's overcome a lot of adversity at Clemson. And most guys put into his position would have probably hit the transfer portal. But he stuck around. With that, Vizzina's just been biding his time. Is it biding or buying his time? Either way, you know what I mean. I'm just making up words here. But Christoper Vizzina has stuck around. He needs real life experience. Now, if we go through and we look at this schedule, we look at Clemson football schedule, there's one thing that will stick out to you. Obviously, you have LSU. He's probably not going to see any time in that. We have Troy. Definitely. That is a game that he could see legitimate time in. Let's say Clemson comes out. They get up by 35 points. They get into the second half. They have a nice, solid lead. Pull Cade. Keep those guys on the sidelines. You have to play Georgia Tech next week. Get Vizzina some time. You have Georgia Tech next. I think that's a trap game for Clemson. I've talked about this. I've had some of you say, you're overlooking Georgia. I'm not overlooking Georgia Tech. I'm not going to overpraise them. They're a really good football team Clemson needs to keep an eye on. But, they still lost 6 ball games last year. The next week, Clemson plays Syracuse. It's in Death Valley. Syracuse has lost a lot of talent. Fran Brown did a really good job last year, but he lost a lot of talent. This could be a potential game according to how they're rebuilding or have rebuilt the team. This could be a good chance for Vizzina to potentially see playing time, even if it's for the last 10 minutes of the game. If Clemson goes out and takes care of business, they play North Carolina next. We don't know what North Carolina is going to be. There is a whole lot of hoopla over North Carolina right now. And as someone who loves to dive into football teams and try to focus on reality and try to remove myself from the hoopla, there's so much hoopla with, how many times have I said that, UNC, that it's hard to really pay attention. I mean, it really is. And I know they have some good players that they've pulled in out of the transfer portal. It's just too much there. It's hard for me to figure them out. I don't think they're going to burn up the woods. I could be wrong. This could be a game Vizzina could see some playing time in later on, because you have a team with a first-time college football coach. Yes, he won Super Bowls galore. The game is different. And I'm not taking shots at Belichick. The guy's already an icon in football. This is a different time in college football. College football runs a different way. We have things happening off the field with Belichick. It's hard to know. Maybe Vizzina sees time there. Clemson travels up to Boston College. Bill O'Brien's second year. Bill O'Brien can coach football. But he's going to have it's going to be a first-year starter for him because Castellanos is down at Florida State. But overall, Vizzina can see time in this game. You have SMU coming into Clemson. I really don't know what SMU is going to be like. They have Kevin Jennings coming back at quarterback. Lashley is trying to make some noise in the ACC, and he has. But that's a question. That's a question whether he'll see time in that game. I hope so. The more time he sees in the game, it's either good or bad. It's either like in an LSU game, they got blown out, and now he's just out there, which I hope that doesn't happen, and I don't believe it will. Or you go in and you get a hefty lead over somebody you didn't expect to get that really nice lead over. You get into the second half, and it's like, yeah, bring the second string out. You have Duke. Duke is a question mark, but I'm going to tell you this. I truly believe that you'll see Christoper Vizzina in this game because Clemson's going to take care of them in Death Valley. You have Florida State coming into Clemson. I really don't see him playing in that game, and I'm going to tell you why. I think Florida State I don't think they're going to be like the Florida State of old. We're not talking about 1993. We're not talking about 1999. We're not talking about that 2013 team. But I truly believe after last year, with the changes Norvell has made, and the guys he's brought in, you're not going to see a 2-10 Florida State team. I could see a 7 or 8 win Florida State team. I could see a Florida State team who beats somebody like a Florida or a Miami and messes up their season. They could potentially mess up Clemson's season. I think Clemson, especially in Death Valley, is going to have this game. I don't think you're going to see him there. I don't think you're going to see Christoper Vizzina the very next week against Louisville. That's going to be a tough game. Brom can coach. Furman, I believe you're going to see him there on November the 22nd, and I don't believe you're going to see him against South Carolina. I think the Gamecocks, even if they had a terrible season this year, I think they're going to play Clemson tough. Why? It's a rivalry. If you care about the 2026 season, if you care about having someone to get the football to TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, and Tristan Smith next season, you better be praying that Christoper Vizzina sees the football field this year. And I want such a tight, competitive battle for quarterback in the 2026 season that when we're at this time next year, before the season, people are going, holy crap, their quarterback room is actually really good. We didn't expect this. That would be the best case scenario for us. But I think it comes through having Christoper Vizzina out on the field, actually taking real reps against teams who hate his guts, who's going to give him different looks, who is not his teammates. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know, do I have this right? Am I wrong? And if I'm wrong, tell me why. So that also, remember, check out 1790 Knives and Knife and Tool. The link is below. And also, if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. It is free and I do appreciate it. And remember, I also have a link below for my new channel called Another College Football Podcast, where I discuss other college football teams and college football as a whole. Y'all take care of yourself. And